I've got a lot of grandbabies, like a lot. And when it comes to finding a gift for each of them, it could add up. But this year, while I was making my way through Walmart, I realized I don't have to spend a lot to get the gifts they'll love.
An OPI mini mani set. I'm gonna do so much nail art.
Oh, yeah! A Lego set. My own Awala water bottle.
Ooh, and that's just half of them.
Shop great gifts they're sure to love for $25 and under at Walmart.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, and there's so much to share. With classics like Caramel Brulee Latte, Peppermint Mocha, and Chestnut Praline Latte, we're celebrating everyone's flavor of festivity. Order yours in the app.
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation. Thanks for joining us again for this episode. Last episode, we got to hear from Gerard Neghetti and his transition assistance program. Thanks again for being on, Gerard. This week, we are pivoting to one of the many ways veterans and their spouses can transition out of the military and into a successful second career or follow their passion somewhere else. Our first guests are Amanda and Joseph Garcia of Killeen, Texas. They are passionate about community and veterans. They took a leap in September 2020 to start a business right at the height of the pandemic. You can check them out at www.made4uTX.com or on Facebook at Made4uTX. They're great to talk to, and I see great things for them in the future. So let's go ahead and get them on the show now. All right, awesome. Welcome to the show, Joseph and Amanda. You go by Joe or Joseph?
I go by Joseph.
Okay. So I see you're in Killeen. Does that mean you were at Fort Hood, or are you still in Fort Hood?
Yep, we're still at Fort Hood.
You both serving still? Or one of you serve?
So I'm the veteran here, but transitioning out in the next couple of years.
Okay. What do you do in the service?
So I'm a human resources officer.
Okay. How long you been in?
So I'm about to hit my 10th year.
You still there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Lost you a little bit. So you said you hit your 10th year this year?
I'll be hitting my 10th year this June.
Okay. Are you going to transition into the Guard Reserves or just get out completely?
Yep, that's the plan. We're looking at probably the National Guard to stay in Texas.
Okay. That's a good plan after doing 10. The guaranteed paycheck at the end is beautiful.
Oh, definitely. Just one more decade.
Yeah. My second decade went very fast, but that was also because we were at war the whole time. So it kind of made things speed up a lot quicker.
That'll do it.
Yes, it did. So how did you guys, tell me your story. Tell me a little about you two and your story.
So Joseph bought me a Cricut for my birthday, and this was last year. And I started playing around with it, and I was ordering vinyl left and right from other companies. But I also went out, locally and tried to find like the same brand that I now resell. I was trying to find someone locally that, sold it. There was a shop at one point, but she never really had a lot of stock in. It took a while. I mean, basically, if I ordered online, it was going to take the same amount of time. And if I purchase anything from Walmart or Hobby Lobby, those places, they charge way more than, what you can get from a reseller. So I kind of looked at him one day and I was just like, well, what if I opened up a vinyl shop? And he kind of looked at me crazy for a second and he was like, why? What? And I told him, I was like, I think it would be a really good idea, that we don't really have like super big competition. The lady, she shut down her shop, due to COVID and everything. And we have the ability to do it. So why don't we? And he was skeptical at first, but I think after the first It took me about 2 weeks, but after the first month of me doing it, I think that's when he realized like it was not a bad idea at all.
And I'm sure you get a lot of business there from not just the base, but youth sports and stuff like that in the area as well.
Yes, we are expanding. They, it took us a while to get, our name out there and to gain the amount of following that we have currently, and we're still growing every day. But yeah, the youth sports here, a lot of the coaches or their wives, they have started to come and start making their gear for the season.
Probably some of their the gifts for the moms to sit on the sidelines with and stuff.
Yeah.
My godson actually lives not far from here in Kempner, Texas. His mom works on Fort Hood right now. So
nice.
I've seen that you guys actually did not lose power during the snow apocalypse, so that was good. But you actually reached out and helped other people. But I mean, that was awesome for you guys to do. I was Facebook stalking, of course, and just getting to try to get to know you as much as possible in the 2 hours I had. But tell me about
we definitely want, like I'm really close with a lot of my customers, and we try to stay active and made sure that I was messaging people left and right, asking them if they had power, and if they said no, I was offering for them to come here. So we try to keep up with, everyone as much as we can.
That's great. I mean, that's great. That's a great way for you to give back, and while also showing that you actually care, not just about your business, but your community as well. So, who came up with the name for the business? Was it you or a combination of both of you?
That was definitely a man.
Yeah, it was definitely me. Originally, I had ideas of, kind of doing the decorative side, and whenever I would finish a project, it would be labeled Made for You. But I very quickly learned that doing the decorative side of this wasn't something that was going to be easy. If I, trying to resell and also do the decorative side, it just wasn't plausible for me to do that. So I stepped back from the decorative side and told my customers, I want them to be able to do the decorative side. So I would just supply what they needed in order to do their crafts.
So do you have a brick and mortar, or is it just out of your house right now?
Right now, it's currently out of our house. We've been trying to look into getting into a brick and mortar, but right now it is extremely hard to get into a brick and mortar because there's such limited space, and a lot of the contractors, they got held back from being able to continue building due to COVID and then the snowstorm. So they actually just started building again, and we're hoping that they'll be done with some of the locations around Killeen so that we can find a place that is suitable for us.
So I'm sure you're going to outgrow your house here soon if your business keeps growing, and one of you will be sleeping in the car or something by that point. Do you ship around the country or just local Texas?
I do ship across the country.
So you're actually building your network outside. I've seen you're on Bunker Labs. So did that help, being part of Bunker Labs, to help grow your network?
It definitely connected us to a big, very wide range of people and opinions, and it's been a very eye-opening experience for the both of us. And Bunker Labs has also led us to Betterati and many other resources for people like us, aspiring veteran entrepreneurs and couples, especially military spouses too. That it's a very held back population that really has incredible resources at their disposal and is just a little bit underappreciated.
Yes. I just did an interview with my wife last night for the last episode, and she's old school spouse, so from the 90s through 2015. So a lot of my friends just call her OG and stuff. But a lot of the stuff that's here now was not there as she was coming up, and as I made rank, a lot of those programs started coming in, and they weren't for the rank I was at, so she kind of missed that bus. But now I believe there's a lot of stuff out there if but they don't advertise it for spouses.
Unfortunately.
And that's the hard thing. Betterati is an outstanding program. I actually mentor with them, along with Hire Heroes USA as well. And at the last episode 3, my guest actually pointed out that Liberty University has scholarships for spouses there. They can basically go to school for free at Liberty University. So there's things out there that no one tells you about unless you reach in for yourself.
Yeah. Another really good resource I want to highlight is the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce. And that's become a really big thing. They have their own certification and they're getting very active. So I think that really help put military spouses back on the spotlight nationally.
It helps a lot. And I think when President Obama was in, Michelle and at that time, the Lady Vice President, Joe Biden, they were actually pushing for spouses to get more empowered. So that way, like when you move, there'd be jobs for your spouse and vice versa, instead of always have to start over from the bottom every time. So there's a lot of things that started probably around 2011, 12 that are now finally moving into fruition, and hopefully it actually gets much better as time goes forward.
Yeah. All these resources.
How did you link up with Bunker Labs?
So, I think I had stumbled upon it on Facebook. Someone had mentioned it to me. It was one of I believe it was a Veterans to Entrepreneurs Facebook page that brought me into Bunker Labs. And then from Bunker Labs, that basically branched us out into many different great organizations.
And I think the links that you make, the friends and links that you make within Bunker Labs, and then of course you move those over to LinkedIn, those will help you as well as building. You have a pretty good website. Your Facebook page is spot on. Are you getting a lot of traffic to both of those, or is a lot of your business through word of mouth?
It's actually a combination of both. I mean, we do get good traffic on our website, but a lot of the times, men, women, whoever come here, they want to, or they stumble upon our Facebook or our website. They look at the colors and they're like, oh, I need to see if this is going to color match, a project that I'm working on. Can I come over and actually look physically? And I always encourage them to do that, because the last thing I want is I don't want them to purchase something that they can't work with or that doesn't work for them. So I always encourage them, you're more than welcome to come here. Just let me know when you're coming by to make sure that I'm actually here. Cause mom life happens.
Yes.
But, I mean, we get good traffic on both our Facebook and on, our website, but a lot of it is word of mouth as well, because, military spouses, a military community is just, word of mouth, really. Like, you tell one person and that person tells another and then another.
That's a big plus of the military, because it's one big family where if you do right by one person, that person spreads it to everyone they know, and they all come to you, hopefully, when they need your business.
Yes, I agree.
So what's the biggest project you've had to do so far?
Biggest project, I would say, so we have been trying to venture out on getting more of the custom vinyl, like the printable, printing our own designs onto it. And I think right now I'd say about 40% into that. We haven't completed all the purchasing that we need to do for that, but we're getting closer to being able to provide more custom items for our customers who are wanting special prints or designs that we can print out for them so that they can cut it out and, use their custom logos on their t-shirts or anything like that.
Do you do vinyl cutouts for like vehicles, like Jeeps and stuff too?
So we can do the decals, but we try to stay away from the bigger, like, car wrapping or anything like that. Those rolls of vinyl aren't something that we can physically carry because of, number one, how heavy they are, and also how long they are. We don't have the space to carry that kind of vinyl just just quite yet.
I'm sure you're going to get there with the momentum you have now. I mean, that is a big project. Here, our Jeep Club, like I've had a star printed for my hood and name printed for my hood, and I had to go to a local shop, and she did it, and it took her about a week with all her business. But now I can probably just reach out to you to get little things made, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who would you thank for getting you into the business or getting you into this business mindset?
I would definitely have to thank my best friend, Nikki and Sam, because they're the one who told me about the machine to begin with. And then of course, Joseph, all three of them have really been my biggest supporters.
And I've seen one of the pictures, I guess it was like a outdoor festival or fair, I guess, that you were outside doing it, outside a coffee shop, I believe it said.
Yes, we did a couple of, excuse the dog in the background.
Don't worry, I have four behind the door right now. They're probably looking for him.
Sorry for that little disruption. So we have done a couple of craft fairs where we set up a table as a vendor, along with a lot of other local entrepreneurs.
And did those get a lot of foot traffic, or they probably did before COVID? I'm not sure if they're still even doing them now.
So it's been pretty sporadic, but we have done a couple of them.
So how restrictive is Texas now? I know they lifted the mask ban and all that stuff. Is it still city by city, or is it the whole state is wide open now?
The whole state is open. I mean, people are still choosing to wear the mask, and some people are choosing not to. A lot of the businesses are asking the people here to still continue to wear the mask, for their safety and the safety of their employees too, I'm sure. A lot of my customers are really great because they still continue to wear their mask when they do come here. So I guess it's just kind of dependent on the company.
Yeah, no, here in Tennessee, it's still a mandate to wear the mask in businesses. Outside, it's up to you if you want to wear it or not. But we really never closed. I don't think you guys really actually closed either. It was kind of restrictive. But we've been wide open the whole time, and the numbers have been about the same as everywhere else. But a lot of small businesses did suffer through this because a lot of people were afraid to go out and afraid to go to those businesses. So how long before all this last year did you start this business?
So we started in September of 2020. So it hasn't even been a whole year for us yet.
Okay, so you started right during the pandemic. Okay.
Right in the thick of it.
Right in the thick of it. That's a way to launch forward. I mean, so you had a vision and went with it. That's outstanding. And I think this is a business that will last, especially in that area. And of course, with your network now, you can be nationwide, you can be worldwide, especially with soldiers going from Killeen to Korea and Killeen around the world. So they'll reach back and say, I need this made. Can you help me? And bam, you guys are still in it. If there was a message you can say to a young entrepreneur, what would that be?
Well, I would really give three key things. The first one is don't be afraid to take risks. And that is pretty much the epitome of being an entrepreneur, is taking risks. You're never going to know what you're capable of if all you do is sit back and say, what if I do this? I need to wait until I have this much to make. I need to wait until I read all these books. No, if you just wait your whole life waiting for that perfect opportunity, it's not going to come. You got to go out there, experiment. If it doesn't work, then try something else, and don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah. And definitely, with that being said, also do your research, reach out to mentors, try to gain as much knowledge as possible before, just take that risk, because that is probably one of the most important steps.
And that's probably one that keeps a lot of people from even opening a door or a store or anything, is that fear that they may not look good or they may fail. And moving forward, that really handcuffs them, really. I mean, my parents, they were afraid to buy a house, so they lived in an apartment for over 40 years, basically, until they finally bought a house. So they paid someone else's mortgage for that many years because they were afraid they wouldn't be able to afford a house.
Right.
And that's the same way with businesses, too. So if you want to give a plug for your website and your Facebook and any other way people can contact you, go ahead and do that now.
So our Facebook is Made4uTX. So it's MADE, the number 4, the letter U, and then TX. We'll link you directly to the website, or you can get in contact with me directly.
Yeah, I see it on your Facebook. As soon as you open it, it gives you the option to message you right there. So that's pretty crafty right there.
And then they also have the option to call or text me. My phone number is listed on the website. It's 254-345-2080. I pretty much have that phone on me at all times. And if you go to voicemail, then I always end up calling someone back.
Awesome. That's something that keeps you in business too.
Yeah, definitely. I think people really like the fact that, they're not dealing with like just someone I had hired, or, they're dealing with me directly. I can give out the best information and give time frames of how long, if I don't have a certain color that they need, it typically only takes me 1 to 2 days to get, what they need. So it's a pretty fast turnaround time as far as like, getting orders for any type of vinyl that they need, quickly.
Right. And that's awesome. I think the whole thing you guys started when you did without having fear, you stepped forward and did this. You lined up a link of veterans and mentors through Bunker Labs, Veterati, and the Chamber of Commerce for Military Spouses. And I think all that together is going to lead you to success. And I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you.
We're definitely excited for the future. And we're always looking to help other people on their journeys. A big key concept of our business is helping other people's small business flourish, because that's really important, because small business are the cornerstone of not only capitalism, but the American economy. If you go to any small town, what you're going to see there is a bunch of small businesses. And if they weren't there, then people wouldn't have jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually am a part of a couple of t-shirt groups. And, almost on a daily basis, there's someone there who's saying, oh, I want to open a t-shirt business. I need help. I always will comment and say, hey, reach out to me directly. I can tell you the do's, the don'ts, and everything in between, what your best option is. I mean, everything is, personal preference on how they want to, if they want to work with vinyl or if they want to do sublimation, whatever options that they're thinking about doing. I have a lot of the information that's needed for them to make their decision on what they think their best bet's going to be.
Right. And that's kind of why I started this podcast. I mean, I'm not in it for any money. I'm in it to help other people. The first episode is basically explaining what the Misfit Nation was. So I had a couple of my old soldiers come on there. One's still active, one is out. And they're basically the cornerstone of the Misfit Nation. And I'll let them tell their story. And the second episode is more about resilience and strength. And then my wife was on the last episode, so I'm probably have to buy her dinner and stuff here soon for that one. And then today I just interviewed a man who's helping veterans with their transition for my 5th episode, and you guys will be on the 6th episode. So as much as I can help people move forward, that's what I'm going to do.
That's great.
So if you guys have any parting wisdom or anything you want to say from Texas, shout out from Texas, this is your chance.
Well, one last little thing I'd like to say is that, like us as veterans, we need to stick together, support each other's businesses. If you're going to buy from anywhere, buy from a veteran or military spouse owned business. That is crucial, because otherwise you're just putting money in the pockets of someone that's not inside our family. If you have a chance, just do a little bit of research, and it might cost a little bit more than Amazon or Walmart, but trust me, it's going to pay for itself in the long run. Keep it in the family. Yeah,
keep it right within our the inner circle. as much as possible. All right. Thanks, Joseph and Amanda, for being on, and I'll add you to our Facebook group. Or the Made for You link will be on there for the rest of the Misfit Nation to see. And this episode should be up probably next week sometime, probably Thursday. I'll let you know. I'll text
All right.
you.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right. That was a great conversation. Our next guest is Missy Green, and she is a Navy veteran, spouse, and mom who owns Southern Sweet and Sassy. Southern Sweet and Sassy was started as a way to help military spouses reset so they can have a calmer and more productive day. As a military spouse and mother, she understood the daily challenges every military spouse faces. You can find her at SouthernSweetandSassyLLC.com, on Facebook at Southern Sweet and Sassy, or IG at same Southern Sweet and Sassy. So without further ado, let's get Missy on the show. Hello, Missy. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
I think I put my email in wrong.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry about that.
So how's everything in South Carolina today?
It's going good. It started off very, very beautiful, and now it just looks like it wants to rain.
I think we're sending it that way. It's raining all night here in Tennessee, so it's probably coming from us to you.
Possibly. Thank you for that.
At least it's not snow.
Oh yes. I'm kind of iffy with snow. Like the idea of snow sounds wonderful, but then the issues that people have with snow,
Yes.
I don't want that.
And I'm sure if snow hits South Carolina, the whole state will shut down.
Oh, it will, and it has. It has. A couple years ago, we had this this like major dusting down here in the Charleston area, and it completely shut everything down. Nobody knew what to do with it.
Wow.
Yes. And well, I was stationed in Washington at one point, so it wasn't anything to me, but natives of South Carolina, they're not used to that.
No, it's like a bad dream for them.
Exactly. They don't know how to drive it. And my theory is, I'm sorry, if you cannot drive in rain or snow, please stay home.
Yes.
Please stay home.
You might as well just not drive at all.
Exactly. Just stay at home.
For all of our safety.
Thank you. Exactly.
So when did you join the military and what branch?
Oh, goodness. So I joined in 2001, and it was the Navy. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm a sailor.
I won't hold it against you.
Thank you for that.
So did you join before or after 9/11?
Oh no. I was actually in boot camp. I was in
Okay.
boot camp when 9/11 happened, and I remember I was in A school, and we came back to the barracks at the very end of the day because we had no clue what was going on, what happened that morning. We didn't find out until that evening. And we came to the barracks at the very end of the day, and it was on the news, and everybody was just like in shock. And I'm sitting here like, great. So when I get to the fleet, what's going to happen? But it was very scary because nobody knew what was going to happen or what they expected us to do. Ultimately, I mean, we finished boot camp and then went out to the fleet, but it was a very, very scary time.
I bet. I mean, most of you joined with the idea of going in the Navy, learning a skill, and then probably putting it into either education or a career using that skill after, and then all of a sudden that wrench got thrown in there.
Exactly. And to be able to travel, and see the different countries and just that overall experience. But you're going in at a time when, it's scary for everybody. Nobody knows what to do and nobody knows what's going to happen. And all of a sudden we're going to war. So it's, yeah.
everyone's world got turned upside down. And most of the leaders that you had probably had never been in that situation at that point either, unless they were in from the early 90s. So this was a whole new world for everybody.
Exactly. It was just all the lives lost and just so many things. I mean, it was really tragic.
It sent a lot of anger through a lot of people that day.
It did. Agreed.
So from there, how long did you serve in the Navy?
So I just did one tour. I actually ended up meeting my husband. Okay. So I was stationed in Florida, and I, PCS to Hawaii for my second duty station. And I ended up working with my husband. We worked in the same shop on torpedoes, and it just kind of went from there. I mean, we dated for a year and a half before we got married, and I just ended up becoming, military spouse.
Wow.
Just supporting him.
Is he still in now, or did he get out?
He retired. In 2015. So I was supporting him, up until that time. I mean, we have 4 kids, and PCSing with him from place to place. And his last duty station, we decided to come down here to South Carolina while he stayed in Virginia, because we knew it was going to be his last one. So we wanted to be able to just kind of get settled here, since he's from South Carolina, and he would come down and visit us on the weekends. But throughout, the time that we were married, it was just me, taking care of the kids and the house, and he would be deployed and he would be at home. So I definitely got to see both sides of the spectrum. Yep. I had that experience. So I can definitely relate
to both parts of the party too. So exactly. You can listen to the person that's in or the person that's at home, and both give sympathy to both of them at the same time.
Exactly.
I also retired in 2015. So.
Oh, really? From what location?
Fort Campbell, Kentucky, right where I am now.
Oh, nice. Okay. I haven't been to Kentucky before, but funny story is when I was in boot camp, one of my bunkmates was from Kentucky. And when I say from Kentucky, I mean, she was from Kentucky. Like her accent and the way that she talks and articulates everything. I'm from California. And when I went home to California after boot camp, my mom was just staring at me like, where did you come from? Because I picked up her dialect. I picked up her accent, and it was sounding like I was from Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
It's so strong.
No one believes I was born and raised in New Jersey. I've been in the South for long.
Oh, really? So you picked it up? Yeah, no, I would have never guessed New Jersey.
My own family says I was adopted.
Yeah, my physical therapist, he's from the New Jersey, New York area, and you can tell. Okay. You walk in, you're like, oh yeah, you're from up there. Definitely. Okay.
Yep. You're one of them. So that's awesome. See, we have a connection there. It's good.
Yeah.
Besides being veterans, we have other connections.
Right.
So what led you to go into business then after your journey with the military and your husband's journey ended? Did you start before he ended or after?
After. Actually, I recently started.
Okay.
Yes. So I recently started, and what kind of brought that about was, with everything that happened last year, I was able to work remotely from home, instead of having to commute to the office. And I kind of gotten a taste of it, and I liked it, being able to be here and be with my kids and not have to crate my dogs because I'm not in the house and they like to chew things. So it's like, I just like the flexibility of being able to be at home, spending that time with my family and not having to commute and cooking dinner at 7:00 at night because Charleston, the highway decided to shut down because of an accident, going my way home. So I definitely liked to be able to have that opportunity to do that. And so I had an opportunity to actually start my own business fall in my lap. And I just kind of ran with it. Yes. So, I mean, I've always wanted to, so I've always had dreams of opening my own, bookstore, with
Okay.
like a little cafe inside, kind of like Barnes and Nobles, just on a smaller scale. And,
More intimate.
yeah. And nowadays it's like, nobody really goes to bookstores. Everything is digital. So
Yes.
that wouldn't work. But, I loved coffee, and the chance to open, my own coffee store online fell into my lap. And like I said, I ran with it.
That's awesome. And you didn't let anything hold you back. That's even better.
It's scary though. It's so scary
Oh,
because I have days when I'm like double, just kind of like double thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? Is this going to work? Am I going the right direction? Am I crazy for thinking to start a business online? But then I have to literally wash those thoughts away and just keep going. There are so many entrepreneurs out there that are very well known, like Steve Jobs, and even Stephen King, when he was writing his novels, like they went through failure time and time again, and they were told no time and time again. And eventually there was that yes. And they made it big,
Right.
So that's my thing. I'm like, okay, I'll be told no from businesses, I want to supply to you time and time again, but all it takes is that one business and that one connection, that one restaurant that'll
Right.
set you up for success.
That one yes will make you among the best and move you forward.
Exactly.
Kind of like the author of Harry Potter. She was turned down, I think, 7 different times before someone picked up Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's pretty good now, I think.
Yeah. And did you know, I actually learned recently that all of the publishing companies but one said no to Stephen King when he wrote Carrie.
Wow. Big mistake.
Big
Huge
mistake. And now they're kicking themselves in their butts, because it's like, look how big he is now. Every single one of them except one said no.
There's a bunch of them right now scratching their head saying, what did I do?
Exactly.
If they're still around.
That very, very much. Yeah, that's true.
So you kind of answered both the number 2 and 3 there. So you're in your house, in your own place doing this, and you have thoughts of doing an intimate coffee kind of bookshop. If you do get that chance, would you do it right there in Charleston?
Well, I just don't see, for me, like, I mean, I would love to. I think it's amazing because I'm kind of weird. I love the smell of books. I'm that weirdo. But just with the way that, with the way that everything is moving nowadays, I don't see that being a possibility. Because again, everything is so digital when it comes to books. Like, I even have a Kindle. I used to read actual physical books, and I waited until the very last minute when I was like, okay, maybe I'm just going to have to, suck it up and buy myself a Kindle. And now that's all I read on is a Kindle. So it's almost like physical books are becoming obsolete. So I just don't see that happening. Now, I might open a kind of like a small shop to sell my coffee, not really make it, but, maybe just to have it in an actual store where, people can just come and pick up instead of, having it shipped directly to them, or, both. But that would be some ways off in the future.
You have a great plan. And I think I like coffee too now. For a while, I didn't drink any coffee. Even when I was going 24/7 in combat, I wasn't drinking coffee. But I was mainlining Rippets and Red Bulls.
Oh.
So it was kind of the same thing, I guess, but more health consequences. So, but now I drink coffee. So, and my daughter kind of got me hooked into it. So every time she comes to the house now for our weekends or at lunch, she brings me coffee. That's kind of the way to keep me off energy drinks.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's really a good way to socialize, and just have conversation with friends, around a cup of coffee. And I love that.
Yeah. And most people will actually sit longer with that cup of coffee and talk to someone than they will with a Red Bull or something, because they're getting so amped up and want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
they enjoy it.
Yes.
How long did it take you to come up with the name Southern Sweet and Sassy?
Oh gosh. I think like a week.
A week? That's not
No,
bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It took me a week. It was really hard trying to figure out what to put as the name of my company. Southern, really is because obviously, now I'm a Southern transplant. So I was like, yeah, I think I can do, Southern. Sweet and Sassy. That's kind of because, I'm Puerto Rican and a Gemini and you name it. So I have that sweet and sassy down packed.
The Puerto Rican blood gets that sassy going.
It so does.
Yeah. I've seen it. I understand.
Right? Exactly. Nobody understands until you're Puerto Rican and a Gemini.
Until you get it right in your face. You learn very quickly.
Yes. I don't have to say anything. I have that look. It's that look.
Then everything stops. Time stops.
Even my dog. I look at my dog and they literally, they will stop and they will sit.
I wish mine would.
Right.
So how much did Bunker Labs help you with getting this going, or were you already going and then you joined Bunker Labs?
So actually I was already going and then I joined Bunker Labs. So right now, actually, I'm on the Bunker Labs, group. And I did put in the application for their program, but I haven't started yet, or been accepted as of yet. But I've been looking at a lot of the information that, Bunker Labs provides. Most of my help came from Veterans Grow America and the Rosie Network, which has the Service to CEO program, and then Act Now Education and Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs. So they have been really, really supportive, in my journey. And they've been very helpful too.
Awesome. It's good to always see those organizations that actually will help you and not just point you to someone else to help you. I went through the Bunker Labs program right when I retired, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I learned a lot, but I just wasn't ready to open a business at the time. I was still trying to lean forward as a soldier, even though I was done. So but now this year, I'm finally going out and doing things I like to do, like this here, just talking to people and learning their stories. And I go to work every day. I still train soldiers, but at the end of the day, I get to do this and have fun. So sometimes it just takes someone pushing you, but there's a lot of tools at Bunker Labs, and of course the network is amazing.
Yes.
There's so many people there that can help you.
Yes, exactly. And I love that. I love veterans having, these organizations there to help assist them, in their journey. And not even if they want to become entrepreneurs. I mean, there's so many other avenues, like, if they just want to find a job, or if they want to, grow in their career, and then just, learn some more. There are these organizations that help.
Oh yeah. And then within those organizations, there's that one person that might be there and say, hey, you might want to try this, because this seems like something I feel that you're passionate about. You might want to pursue it. Yeah. And that's what it takes sometimes. Because I stayed out of work for 365 days after I got out. And then I finally, after, prodding my wife told me to get out of the house. So basically I volunteered. I had a fellowship for 6 months and then got a job. And I was mentoring veterans, and then I got this job where I train soldiers. So I'm in my happy place, and it was thanks to many veteran organizations, and mostly just walking into veterans and talking to them, because we like to talk. Most veterans love to talk and love to help each other.
Oh yeah, exactly. And and it's really hard for people transitioning out of the military. And you think that, okay, so the Navy had and has probably still TAP. And the thing is that program is there, but it really didn't set you up for transitioning out of the military. There were just so many things that they left out. So it was really hard, even, for my husband, like him transitioning when he, retired from the Navy. It was hard for him trying to find his niche, trying to find where he fit in after his 20 years of service. And with my full-time job being on the recruiting side, I was able to kind of help and redo his resume and just assist that way. But not a lot of, veterans have that, assistance near them or by them. So these organizations, I mean, what they're doing nowadays, it's amazing. We didn't have this, or at least I didn't know of it, when we really needed it. So now that they're bringing it to light and to the forefront, I think it's wonderful what they're doing.
When you transitioned, digital wasn't even a thing, basically. I mean, internet was growing, but it wasn't like it is now. It was still basically you had to hold that paper copy of a resume and bring it to somebody according to what taps, or we had Soldier for Life. Same thing, just walk with that resume and beg and hope. Now you can just press one button and your resume goes to 100 jobs at one time. And so many are fishing, and they'll find you and say, all right, let's go with it. Things have evolved, thankfully. Thanks for trial and error.
Exactly. That's usually how it happens.
That's every time I see a Vietnam vet, I always thank them because they went through a lot more than I did, and they paved the way for us. And now the younger generation now will thank us when they get out and say, "Thanks for all your suffering." Even though I don't believe we suffered that much. We just had to work a little harder to get what we want, and it'll keep being the same way. The reciprocation will happen along the way for veterans.
Exactly.
So if you can give advice to an aspiring transition veteran or spouse, what would it be?
I would say reach out to the different organizations. They are there to help you and to assist you. Even if it's just, like I was saying, you're looking for a job, they would be able to point you in the right direction. If you're not sure how to fill out a resume, they would be able to help you. If you want to start a business, and maybe you haven't started it yet, but you just have that idea, they would be able to put you in a program that'll help you, build it in theory, before you go out and, actually, build it in a practical sense. You'll obtain, more business knowledge. Even though I've started my business and it's up and running, I'm still going through these programs and I'm still learning myself. I mean, you can never learn too much. There's always something that you can learn and that you can build upon. Somebody else might have done something differently, and hey, it might work for you and something that you've never thought of. But just reiterating that these organizations are there to help.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you want to throw out your websites where everyone can hear it, and then how to contact you if they want to get some Southern Sweet and Sassy products.
So my website is southernsweetandsassy.llc.com. And I do have a Facebook page, which is at Southern Sweet Sassy LLC, as well as an Instagram page, which is at Southern Sweet and Sassy. So definitely, connect, follow, like, share. But you can go online, and right now, if you subscribe, there is a coupon there for you, a little discount that you'll get right away, when you want to purchase any coffee.
Discounts always bring people in. That's good.
Yes.
Well, Missy, it's been great talking to you. Great learning about your passion, your drive, your business, and of course, your journey through the military and to where you are now.
Thank you. It was great speaking with you as well.
I look forward to seeing you grow as a business, and hopefully in the future I get you back on and we'll talk about some other stuff. I would love
to. Just let me know when. I can talk.
Awesome. We just chat. All right. All right. Well, you have a good day.
You as well.
Bye. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wow. That's another great episode done. Amanda and Joseph Garcia and Missy Green were amazing to talk to and learn about their journeys from both being in the military, being spouses, opening businesses, and of course their passions. We appreciate all of you for taking the time to come on and share your story. On our next episode, we'll talk to a couple more veteran-owned businesses, so look out for that. As always, thanks for taking some of your time to spend with us on the Misfit Nation. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and share the link as much as possible. We appreciate you. Till the next time, as always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling. We are the Misfit Nation.